Muted. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Sit Down and Shut Up. Today we got FuyuKaki. Let's bring him on. Hey, Fuyu, what's good?
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Cool. So welcome on, man. So you are, what's your MR right now? 1800, 1900?
It is like just under 1800. We will see if I can make it right now.
Okay. All right, on. So I know you've been wanting to get a session like this. I'm definitely not at the MR level you are, but we can probably talk about some stuff. So what has been going on in your rank games? Like, what are you kind of struggling with right now?
Um, I mean, I think the biggest thing is really, well, tilt, which is just a personal thing that I just gotta work on, like in terms of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think there's quite a few situations and games where I'm not labbing other characters in situations quite as much as I probably need to.
Okay.
And so my personal opinion is that a lot of my games are coming down to these like small situations that I'm just not I don't know, diligent enough to kind of figure out. So
Okay. So I would be it would be like you get put into some sort of maybe not a reset situation in particular, but it's like, oh, there's this situation where I'm not quite sure how plus I am or how minus I am. So can I mash or not, or can I do an option or not?
right.
And then you're like, oh, let me just try it, and then you get hit for it, right? Or something like that, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like there's an obvious correct answer if you've labbed it, or it's hard to like there's no as you can't just like vibe it, you know what I mean? Like there's no intuition
Correct.
for that. It's just like you had to have learned. Okay, I think that's fair. Yeah, I struggle with the same thing, to be honest. I don't lab a lot, like at all really. I just kind of like Ken is a character where you can kind of just do what you want, and it most of the time works out, so it's okay. But I'm also not at that level where those things are like become the make or break situation, right? They're like there's bigger glaring holes that do end up happening. So
Right.
at any rate, okay, cool. So with that, what we can do is run a first to three. I don't know if you've seen what we do here, what I do here, but it's basically run a first to three. We'll kind of get a sense of like what you might be running into, or in this case, like what situations might be maybe come with some interesting situations or whatever. After that, we'll do replay review, take a look at one of the games that we play, and then you sent me a replay, so we'll take a look at one of those, like at that one as well. If then there's
Okay.
like something we want to lab in particular, we can take a look at that, and then at the end, if there's time, we can run it back, run the first three, and see if any adjustments can come out of that. Sound good?
Yeah. No, it sounds
All
good.
right, cool. Let me invite you to the custom room. Let's go to queue up. I'll join in. So I'm gonna deafen in Discord while we do this, mostly because I talk a lot during this, so I don't want to impact like anything you're doing in particular. So, but yeah,
No problem.
otherwise, good luck.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, FuyuKaki, very strong Manon player. Obviously, Ultimate Master here. I think they're 1900 earlier. We do play a good amount, and it's usually pretty interesting, at least back and forth. So we'll see how we do here. I don't expect to like win all three outright or win any of these, to be honest. But let's see what happens here. Not not teching, huh? Okay, so there I think like defensive decision making wise, right? They were committed to taking the throw there, and then they ended up backdashing, right? And you can kind of see what happened was I just kind of kept doing what I was doing, and then it worked out. Oh, oh, so you can't whiff like that. Hard read. Okay, so there I kind of got away with one, right? Mashed out a situation that maybe didn't make sense. Okay, I, I was really worried that that wasn't gonna kill. Yeah. So what I'm seeing right now is that there's a little bit of hesitancy in neutral. I think because we play each other a lot, right? So what's happening here is I think we're both kind of trying to establish spacing with our heavy buttons, right? So you see Manon using the stand heavy kick there, able to spin through my fireball, which is something Fuyu talks about all the time, right? Being able to spin through fireball. But basically, what's happening here is we're both trying to establish our own poke range. And I'm kind of bypassing neutral right now, right? Because I'm not going to win it against Manon's buttons in particular, right? So, using drive rush jab pretty liberally here. And you can see Manon, you can see Fuyu's trying to back up to a space where he can spin the fireball. Oop. Ah. He's not teching a lot. Tech's there though. Oh, that's not good. Oh, got checked. So that was my mistake there on, I think, doing the kind of OSC thing, which was waiting for the parry and then parrying after. If I'd done like a wake-up drive rush, that actually might have worked there. I'm not sure if the check would have gone through, though. Ugh. Good jump again. Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that to be on the wrong side. Ugh. Go for a safe jump here. Ah. So my mistake there, and what Fuyu did really well there, was they challenged my stand heavy punch, because a lot of people will just continue blocking that, but I was not spaced well enough to throw another one there. So they went for I think, I don't actually remember how fast that back or that medium punch is. Oh shit, that's not a confirm. But it was definitely faster than my 10 frame button. Okay. I'm getting mixed up now on the... Oh. Oh, I gotta start jumping. Okay, now that they're burned out... Oh, the wake up button is so brave. I like it, dude. Okay, got away with another one there, mental stacked in the corner, right? So, Fuyu was being a little bit passive there. They got their meter back, so they probably could have DI'd me back if they were worried about that. But there's a lot to worry about when Ken has you in the corner like that, especially when he's applying pressure. So right now where I'm getting beat in neutral is that I'm not able to establish the stand heavy punch range. Right? Like that. So if I'm not able to do that effectively, basically Manon's going to own Ken, right? Like that stand heavy kick is too good. Like that right there, I can't deal with that. Doesn't want to tech. You're trying to stuff the... Trying to stuff the button from Lee there. I think it was a stand heavy kick. So walk up, stand medium kick from Ken would be good there. So you can kind of see the neutral game, how it's played here, right? Is that the spacing that we're both trying to establish is sort of in between either Manon's stand heavy kick range or Ken's stand heavy punch range, right? So if I can get them to respect the stand heavy punch range, I can kind of start doing these walk up buttons, right? So they're waiting for me to press in that scenario, and then they can just try to stuff it or whip punch me, right? But oh my god. But remember, they're doing the same thing to me, right? They're trying to establish their range so that they can do their thing, right? Oh my god. Not a good position to be in here. Backdash. Ah! Ugh. That should have been a trade. Get perfect in there. But you see in that round, I lost really quick, right? So there's a couple of bad, maybe not bad decisions, but bad guesses. And now Fuyu has 5 medals, right? So now it's really dangerous for me. I really have to guess on every 50-50 scenario, right? Guess jump there. Guess backdash there. But so that's the grappler, right? Is that I was playing against the command grab and got hit like 3 times, right? So because of that, right? Like you can see the power of like having the medals and having that 50-50 be real, is that, or not real, but like be a real threat there, like damage wise, right? So I made decisions against the command grab, and they rolled the dice that I would not, that I would do that, right? That I would try to jump or backdash something, so they went for like meaty buttons. Uh-oh. That was not a crouching medium kick. Oh, that was supposed to be reversal. Woo! Okay, burn out for that. Safe jump. Oh, no TP. So I tried to jump in that scenario there because they went for command grab last time and they tagged me, right? Ugh. Oh, that went through. That sucks. Level 3? Yeah. So you can kind of see, like, once we adapted to what I was trying to do there, which was the stand heavy punch range, right? They just changed it and waited for me to whiff it, right? So 3 perfects. Not great showing for me, but hey, at least it was a close set. And you should be coaching me. What the hell?
No. Listen.
Now there's some good stuff. There's some good stuff. So like on the rounds where, or the games where I was able to get you, how are you feeling about those ones? Like those losses? What do you think happened?
So I guess this kind of gets back to another probably weakness of mine. Probably one that's actually a little bit more actionable, like in within this session is there's a lot of games where things don't go the way I want them to necessarily, like in neutral, right? Because I think that my game is very focused around the neutral game,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and if I get taken out of that or kind of thrown off my pace, well, so how do I try to take that pace back? Well, I kind of don't, right? I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
passive on defense, like I kind of follow almost to a fault. Well, take the throw or
Yeah.
whatever, all those adages.
Yeah.
I will say, so it didn't show up in this set. There's quite a few games, especially when I'm like in a kind of a tilt queue mode, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where I'm doing the exact opposite. But basically, I mean, the reason why I'm in that situation to begin with is, okay, I'm trying to play this really kind of reactive neutral game.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but you cannot. There's no world where you can react to everything, right? That's
Yeah.
just not gonna happen. So,
Right. Right.
like in the later games that we were playing, so when I was able to more consistently react to fireballs,
Mm-hmm.
that obviously that's a situation where it worked out, where I had kind of the right focus on what I should be looking for,
Mm-hmm.
and but when, especially in the earlier games when I wasn't doing that very consistently, I think I was definitely focused on trying to spin through the fireballs, but
Yeah.
I wasn't successful at it, and as a result, like whenever something else came at me, I mean, I'm not prepared, and I get taken to the corner, and from there, it's and everybody's kind of the same in the corner, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm sharing in Discord. You should be able to see my screen there. Let's take a look at one of the replays here. So this was game 3, and I think this
yeah,
kind of showcases what you were talking about, where you might have gotten a little tunnel vision to neutral. I was actually saying this on stream was that when we play, like me and you play, I think what ends up happening is we're both trying to establish a space that we want to stand at. And I think for Ken, for me, I'm trying to stand heavy punch range, right? And for you, the way you play, I think you're trying to stand at like stand heavy kick range, right? Trying to get me to
yep,
keep out of that, right? And then once hesitant to press or I start whiffing things because I'm standing too far, that's kind of when you're able to take over, right? Where it's like, okay, now I can whiff punish something, go into hip grab, and then once you have two or three medals, now like my mindset as your opponent has to shift towards the grappler 50-50, right? I can't take throws the same way I can when you have one or two medals, right? Like that's just how Manon's built. So let's take a look at this game here and see if there's anything interesting we can point out here. But that was kind of what I was noticing too, was that we were standing at like spin range, right? So like, you know, I know that's kind of controversial, but you can spin with Manon, right? Like, and I'm a full believer of that, having played you a bunch. But the spacing for that means you have to be standing like further back, right? You can't be standing at this sort of 3/4 screen range, right? So right there, right? Like you tried to spin, I think, right there. And then it kind of, or it looks like you pressed something maybe.
No, it was supposed to be a spin. I don't think the down forward input.
Yeah.
I guess came out.
Yeah,
So,
you're doing something though, right? Like that's
Yep.
So this might be, obviously I think it's too close for the spin potentially, right? Now you may be able to do it on like a read, like if I'm throwing two fireballs or something like that. That might have been the case, but it might be a little bit late here. Like if this was sooner, that might attack me, right? So, but on reaction, I think it's tough, right? So of course, me noticing that, I immediately tried to run in, right? So like here, right after this, I try to establish that, right? So, I mean, it's hard to be ready for this, especially when you're blocking fireballs. But luckily, you know, I was out of range of this, right? But the goal of me moving in here was accomplished, right? Like able to move forward. So, yeah. But you can see that, right? Like this is the range you want to be at right here, where you're trying to establish this, right?
Yeah, I can touch you, but you can't, you know.
Yeah,
really
because
touch me back.
Yeah, because Manon's button, this button is absurd, right? Like I know it's slow, but it's like
psychotic.
so far, right? So like I can't effectively challenge your spacing here, right? Like at all. So I have to move forward, right? So because I have to move forward, that's the guess, right? Like, can I move forward and press? Do I move forward and induce a whiff? Like, what do I do from here? What neutral thing do I do here, right? And of course, like me being Juzzy, the player is going to be super aggressive here, right? Like I'm just going to walk forward and press. And I do that like all the time.
Right. Yep.
So then here, I think like taking the throw, right? You were saying, which makes sense, right? From like a gameplay, like game theory standpoint, is this like 1,200 damage? I just spent 3 bars for that, right? It's not like effective meter usage, but like game state wise, otherwise, you're in the corner now, right? Like this is like from my perspective as a Ken player, this is just as good as landing a crouching medium kick, right? Like I'm gonna put you in the corner, and Ken's damage is not that high either, right? So it's like 700 more damage for the same effect. Like I can live with this, right? So
step kick is only -4.
Yeah,
I thought that was 5. Oh,
it's -4. So it's like punchable point blank. So
right.
Yeah, but it's tough, right? Because I have to run and do everything for that, so it's like way telegraphed or whatever. But if it's spaceball, it's difficult to deal with, right? Especially for like characters like Ed that don't have good 4-framers. Like, not much you can do about that, right? Other than take a turn back. So you can just press a 6-framer or something 7-framer, and that's usually good enough, right?
I think in one of the games I tried my 5-frame thinking it would punish, and you know, it definitely makes sense there that okay, so knowing it's +4, or excuse me, I'm +4, you know, using a bigger button, and because it's not like I can punish that anyway. So
yeah, might as well take a turn back, right? Because if you catch me getting greedy or trying to back up, right? Because Manon has like a decent lows, right? So you'd be able to tag me. Now, I mean, obviously you can't get a ton off of that, but if you can convince me that I shouldn't be walking backwards, maybe I stand still in the -4, and then maybe you can sneak in a command grab or something like that, right? Where I'm just like standing there. So, so after this, I try to anti-air. I don't. You're able to get out of the corner, right?
Yep.
I jump, right? Okay. So I'm like, oh, I want you back in there, and then you do the drive rush command grab, right? So this is tough to deal with, I think, and I feel like a lot of Manons are really good at sprinkling this in, right? It's just like the raw drive rush or the drive rush cancel into command grab. So that's really good. I think like I feel like it's one of those things where you really gotta get a sense of how your opponent's playing defense, right? Like, are they jumping a ton or whatever? And I think you did that to me like in game 3 or something. You double perfected me, right? And a lot of it was that I was afraid of the command grab, and you just like jabbed me, right? Like it was just meaty or strike, right? And then I was wrong, and I took a ton of damage for it, right? So
that's something I need to stop right there. Well, so in this, like, I think because of kind of how I think risk averse
Mm-hmm.
I tend to play.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what I just did there, off of that knockdown from the command grab, was the back medium kick, which it kind of looks like the overhead, which, you know, if something in the matchup or in any matchup is after command grab, your overhead is meaty. However, your opponent can react to it and DI, and
Yeah.
so, you know, sometimes I'll try to do this and bait it.
Ah.
I think I like defaulted to this every single
Command grab.
knockdown for the most part.
Yeah.
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 But not once did I, you know, first of all, represent the opposite option, right? Of, you know, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you'll take a bit of extra damage if you don't, you know, respond to my overhead. And I didn't represent that too much to begin with. And then, you know, even still, like, okay, so let's say I was sprinkling that in and it was working until you DI me. I mean, why would I stop, right?
Yeah.
Why do I keep
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know if you were like aware of that kind of interaction, or even if
Well.
you were, like, you know, whether or not you choose to go for it is
Mhm.
like, yeah, it's yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So typically after that, normally what I'm looking for is a drive rush, right? So if I see the drive rush, then I'm like, okay, I need to derev or wake up derev or react with something. But if I see you standing there, I'll tend to just block, right? I'm not
yeah,
really
yeah,
a huge like wake up DI type of guy. even if you do it on reaction, I may not do it. Or I'll go for like a parry there, right? So if I see
right,
that, I might go for a parry. Now, whether or not that will work, like if I parry there, would you have enough time to like command grab? Maybe not from that distance.
no,
But that is something you bring up that's interesting, is that you're thinking one layer deeper than we currently are in the game state, right? Meaning, like you're saying, oh, I'm covering an option that my opponent hasn't shown me yet. And it's
yep,
like, does that make sense to do or not? Now, I think like in a matchup where you know the other player, I think it makes a lot of sense to do so. Like if I did that all the time, like I'm like, oh, I can always react to that or
mm-hmm.
whatever, then it makes a ton of sense, right? Like you know the player. But like your
Right,
average ranked like session, if you will, you just have to assume that your opponent is playing like at layer 0, like they're just doing what they want to
mm-hmm.
do, because like you don't know this person, right? It's just open bracket, right? Ranked is basically, so you don't know how risky they play or not risky they play. So you just kind of have to assume that they're not thinking next layer just yet. So like represent the media options, right? Like I do that all the time. Is just like represent the media option, like, and I think I did that to you all throughout game one. Was I only went for like meaty strike, meaty throw. I didn't really
Right,
shimmy you until, well, I tried to shimmy you and you stopped. You didn't want to tech, right? So that's when, okay, I'll start throwing you then, right? And that's what
right, yeah,
came out of it, right? But this type of thing, I think, allows me to get it for free, right? And I establish a better spacing for this. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't hit. I think maybe if you're a little bit sooner here, it probably does, like a little bit more. But that's hard to
yeah.
react
I
to
was
from
off
that.
by a couple frames.
Yeah, I go for like
I think
five,
also
6
kind
frames.
of
Yeah.
the range was a little bit difficult.
A
I don't know if
little bit
that
close, I
waved
think,
back that
right?
frame or not.
Yeah, right
Right,
here.
yeah,
Yeah, like you basically reacted when you saw the flash, right? Like that's
yep,
on point there, but the distance just didn't allow you to hit me, right? So, but the main thing to take away from that though is that this, after this, I get it for free, and that's,
mm-hmm.
I think that's what you want to try to do or allow less of, right?
Yep,
Especially once you've kind of get a sense of like my reversal habits or timings. Like I don't reversal a ton, right? Like all that much. Maybe I
right,
reversal twice throughout our set. So if you can identify that as like my character, like my personality is I don't want a reversal here, I think that's when you can start doing these like meaty options, right? At least represent them. Because at some point I am going to reversal, and the question then becomes like, oh, can I get them to reversal or not, right? And that's like where Manon can really shine, right? So you do the drive rush and you bait something, or like you do this action here, which baits like a DI or something like that. But like you were saying, until you represent the option, it's kind of like, well, I'm just gonna get up then, right?
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
default thing I'm gonna do, which is get up and backdash, is going to work for me here.
agreed.
Right. So here, I think this is like basically what neutral looks like for for us here. Is we're just both trying to establish that range, and I was too close here, right? So what I was trying to do here was, hey, it's all your thanks for the follow. What I was trying to do here was see if you'd wanted to take your turn back with a more aggressive button, right? So Ken being -2 here, most people know that, right? So you can take your turn back with like a 6 framer or something. But you were hitting me with this crouching low or the 5 framer here. So I'm trying to press this, but I'm too close, right?
Yep,
So if I was better spaced for this, maybe this works for me, and your light whiffs here. but I was too close, right? So, but I went for it anyway because what folks will do is in this situation here, they'll just press a big button. Like they'll press like a 6
Yeah.
or 9 or like 8, 10 frame button here for whatever reason.
We both know that you're minus, and that if I mash a jab, then you'll get stuffed. So if you're not gonna press anyway, or if I don't think you're gonna press anyway, right? Why wouldn't I use a bigger
Yeah.
button? And then
Yeah.
the next layer up is okay. Now you are thinking, okay, they could be doing this. I can get hit by a light, and what's the big deal? It's not really a lot of damage, so
Yeah.
I can kind of gamble on that and try to take my turn back again, right?
Yeah, definitely. And it's something that that like mindset, if you will, I'm just testing to see what you're gonna do here, right? Like that's what I'm trying to establish, right? I can, if I have to take 200 or was it 500 damage or whatever for that, or 240 in this case, right? To identify
right. And not
what
even a
button.
knockdown either.
Yeah, and it because like you're taking a turn back, right? You're expecting it to be blocked. You're expecting there to be space given back and go neutral, all that stuff. So it's like if I can get information on what button you're mashing against that, it means I can adjust that, right? So if I space that better, and you're pressing lights or maybe it's ambiguous or whatever, maybe I can get away with now trying to wish punish the light, right? Like space trap it basically. So like that's what I'm trying to establish. Now of course I miss it, right? I'm too close, right? Because you don't because I forward dash, right? And then since you don't press anything here and block, right? Like I was really trying to stuff something here because I was like, oh, I think they're not gonna. I think they might press as I try to dash up. Maybe they don't react in time, and I just pressed, right? And it didn't quite work out. But at any rate, that's what I mean. We're both trying to do this to each other, right? Like you're trying to establish this button, which hits me here as I try to press something again, and that's just how the neutral is being played, right? So like I don't think anything in particular is like necessarily. Oh, see right there. This though.
Yeah, that's that.
That maybe
That's
we can fix this, right? Like I think the going taking
sure.
your Oki here is probably fine, especially for Manon like command grabs. Like she gets Oki for a bar. That said, though, because you only have one bar here, maybe the overhead made sense, right? Because like
Sure.
I'd have maybe I have to parry it or whatever. But so far, since you haven't done it, you don't know if I can do that or not, right? For all you know, I'm gonna get hit by this. So
Right.
you gotta test it at some point, right?
One other thing, I wanted to go back to that. So where I took the turn back with the crouch light kick.
After
I don't know if
the
you can go.
yeah.
Let's see. In the replay takeover. So when I landed the crouch light kick and stuffed your second button.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I could link that into another like a light punch, for example, like crouching light punch. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is so okay. I chose to take my turn back, and I was successful.
Yeah.
But I took it back with a button that really doesn't lead to anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if like you know this was a situation where like I could try to have a little bit more intent behind my button. And the button, okay, maybe I do use the crouching light kick, but
Mm-hmm.
knowing that I'm going to mash, either it's gonna get blocked and okay, it's a block string, whatever. We move on, or I might be able to two-hit confirm that into a knockdown situation where you get a little bit more out of that.
Yeah. Is there a
stuff
cancel from crouching light kick that works?
Crouch, basically just a light jab string. So crouch light kick, crouch light punch into. I think you can cancel the crouch light punch if it hits into quarter circle forward heavy kick.
Yeah. So the jab will whiff here from this
Does it?
distance.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. You're already pressing that, right? So. Right. So it whiffs from there.
Yeah.
That said, though, I think if we look at this, so Ken is -2 here, right? So if I'm pressing a 5-frame button, you can press up to a 6-frame button here and catch me, right? So if you press something
There
else
certainly
here,
were other buttons that I could have.
yeah,
Chosen.
potentially, right?
Even
So
even any of the other jabs, because I don't have a 6-frame. I think it goes up to 5 really, but
oh really?
But
Yeah.
it's
So yeah, that is something you would have to kind of lab out. Would be if Ken lands a stand heavy punch at specific ranges and tries to do what I did there, which was be a little greedy and steal the turn. You'd be able to stuff it, but the question ends up being like, the spacing doesn't allow the light string or not. In this particular spacing, it doesn't seem to, right? Like you don't get the crouching light punch, unfortunately here. So like you'd have to do a single hit confirm, right?
yeah, not having it off of.
Yeah, not up.
Off of
You'd have to make a hard read, basically, right? Just
for
like
sure.
something like that, right? It's like that's that's death. If you if I block and you go for that, like that's death on block, right? So
For sure.
you'd have to watch the spacing. Now you could do something where if you recognize that the crouching light punch could potentially whiff, you could just do like the buffer, right? And then it would be a quote unquote safe buffer because it whiffs and you don't cancel into the actual move. But it is risky, right? Because if you whiff that and I go for another stand heavy punch, you're gonna get punish counted for that, right? So
Yep.
like that kind of RPS there is a little bit tough. And that's kind of Ken privilege, right? He's -2, but you're guessing. So it's like, oh, hi, is that the case? Now, again, you guessed correctly here and stuffed what I was doing. But the reward is not that great. And typically for Ken too, the reward isn't that great either. Like I may be able to get a light conversion there, but the actual result of that would be to discourage you from pressing after I land a send heavy punch on block, right? So
Right.
if I did that to you, like say twice, where I went for the send heavy kick or send heavy punch, and then you got like stuffed from it, you'll be less inclined to press the next time I do that, right? And if you
For sure.
don't, then I can just do send heavy punch again, or I can walk up throw, I can whatever, right? Like I can do something else. So like
Yep. Yep.
that's
Yep.
really where that's coming from. Now again, like if you're able to beat the RPS there, then I'm discouraged from pressing my button, and then now it's like you can take control if I misspace my stand heavy punch, right? So that's the that's Street Fighter 6, right? In a nutshell. So
Yep.
yeah, here I get stuffed, I get command grabbed here. You do this again, right? I don't react to it. I just kind of get back up and walk back and try to get back into the spacing I want to be at, right? So, but yeah, that's definitely something that for especially a character like Manon that can snowball really quickly, like not taking Oki in that scenario, it's not
Mm-hmm.
always a good idea. Now again, your meter is a little low here, so drive rush probably doesn't make sense. But like an overhead or something, maybe, right? Or whatever other kind of Oki you get meterless might be worth doing. Yeah, the walk back here, right? So of course I do that and I notice you're trying to walk back now, right? So I'm really looking to get a situation where I can land a crouching medium kick now, right?
Right. That is something that like happens pretty frequently. Is I do get clipped by quite a few lows.
Yeah, and it's a habit that I think a lot of people have just because you can walk back, right? Like from this spacing here, like it really doesn't look like Ken's gonna be able to hit you, right?
Yeah.
Like right here, like you're starting to walk backwards, and if I press, it's like, oh, I don't think Ken's gonna be able to hit me. It's gonna whiff, right? But
Right.
Ken's privileged ass crouching medium kick 7 frames, right? Tags you, right? I don't driver's cancel here, right? I was really just trying to poke and see what you would do in that scenario here and see if I can tag you, because I can't, right? I don't have like this is dangerous. If I burn out for this and you happen to block or whatever, like I'm gonna die, right? Like it's not gonna be good for me. So and then I get aggressive here because you don't have meter, right? So like from there, it's like if you don't get this anti-air and you just block it, like I'm going to be able to burn you out, basically, right? So, and then again, same thing here, right? So I noticed you walk back after that last interaction, so I tried to get you again, right? This time with just like Jinrai cancel, mostly because you're burned out here, right? So if you weren't burned out, I might have went for a drive rush here potentially. I don't know if that's really what I would have done, but I might have been inclined to spend here. Because you're in burnout though, I'm just gonna take this and then drive rush, right? Spend 1 bar instead of 3. Oh, I don't even drive rush here. Okay. So this was interesting from you. I was like not ready for the wake up button here. Not gonna lie to you. I was like, all right, I think they're gonna tech or something, and then you did the wake up button here,
Yeah,
right?
and
So
I'm thinking at this point, like, I don't really like the wake up button. I think that should be a wake up command grab, honestly.
yeah,
I don't
I
see
was
a
supposed to
situation
say,
where,
yeah.
yeah, I don't see a situation where this leads to anything. Because first off, so okay, even if this does, hit, so stand medium punch is like very very difficult to hit confirm. It's close to the limit of what is humanly
Yeah,
possible.
like 16, 17 frame window or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what am I really gonna get off of this other than okay, I get a medium punch, I get a little bit of plus frames. Now what ends up happening as like you just played it there is okay, kind of spacing trap, and
Mm-hmm.
I was able to like hit confirm into something a little bit better because I could see it was gonna be punish counter.
Yeah, this is like
But
this is basically a whiff punish, right? Like you knew this was gonna hit, so
yeah,
there's
yeah,
no, this is not, you know that, right?
for sure.
But it
But
worked out, yeah.
so I mean I think in more of a situation like that, where I have a little bit more space to play with, I could see maybe standing medium punch being effective there. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely on the wake up there. I mean, if I'm reading that you're not going to do anything, okay, just go for the command grab. Just get maximum, a lot more damage for sure. So.
Yeah. And that was kind of my mistake here too, right? Was that if I did what I normally do, which is after, what is it? Not here. So after this, like if I had thrown my button here, right? Like I should have went for the stand heavy punch here, right? Because there's no you haven't really been teching. So, but again, so this is I'm kind of suffering from the same thing you were, right? Where it's like, okay, let's consider the next layer here. You are burned out here, right? So like defensive option wise, you generally end up being more inclined to tech because you don't really have a reversal here, right? Like you can't derev.
Right.
You could level 1 me here, and that's a thing. And that's something that I think when you see someone in burnout, you're kind of like, okay, I got to now be paying more attention to their level 1, to whatever else, right? So I think that's what caused me to not hesitate here. And I think Wake of Command Grab would have definitely worked here, right, if I did that. Like, because it beats Shimmy, right? Like, it beats Shimmy, it beats a delay option, right? So, like, my mistake here was not taking the initiative, right? Like, if you're waking up. Now, again, like, most people don't wake up with a button here, which is why when this happened, I was like, wait, what? And then I press here, and then I get whiff punish for it, right? But again, it was like the interaction worked out for you because of my passiveness there. And if I had done what I initially thought to do, which was be aggressive, that might have not worked out for me. So like, I think most people will just take the meaty there, right? They might have done a drive rush, especially in that scenario where I had meter advantage and all that. They might have just taken the drive rush, right? Because even if you reversal me here, you're not going to kill me, right? And you'll still be burned out. So that's probably something I can adjust to, is that sometimes I try to shimmy more than I probably should. And mostly because it beats a lot of things, right? Like people will reversal or attack or whatever. And that's like the most common options when people in burnout. So that's what I'm kind of banking on, right? Like wake up button is really not one that I thought about, right? So, and then I think the rest of this is just me DIing you, right? For better or worse.
Yeah. I mean, it's unreactable. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, most busted move Capcom has ever put out. But like, if you really think about that round, right? I think like the neutral interactions that the way that you didn't. I want to say this: the way that you could have won this was those 2 knockdown situations. Had you taken more Oki out of those, right? I think like
for sure.
Putting me in a situation where I have to guess could have resulted in more damage, right? Like the potential is there. But if you do nothing, there's like if you don't swing at the ball that's coming in, you can't hit a home run, right? Like that's not how it works. So you do have to take some risk there.
Yeah. You play to win the game. You don't play to just survive. And
to not lose, right? You got to play to win, not lose, right?
You got to play to win. So for sure.
And now like here, we're both trying to bait each other, right? Like we're both trying to get. I'm trying to get you to spin, and you're trying to get me to press the heavy punch, right? So this is the neutral game. Oh, no confirm.
That was just a misinput there.
Yeah. Right, so I'm spacing this a little bit better, right? In this particular round, it makes it difficult for you to press against it, right? Because if I'm standing inside that range, it's hard for you to press anything because it'll whiff and you'll get like punish countered for by accident, right? Like as I'm walking up and pressing. So, and then I think here was the backup, right? The walk back. Let's see. Right as you're walking back, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. So I think like that, adjusting to that is pretty straightforward, where you're just kind of blocking, right? Or in this case, I think it's just blocking is the correct thing here, because what'll happen if you don't walk back, this goes through, and I don't hit. I have to get a throw mix up for 3 bars, right? You can block this, and you have a chance to derev or whatever else, right? So it's probably the right thing to do. Like if you see Ken doing a lot of lows like that, I do think that's the adjustment, is to just stand there, because Ken will spend all his meter trying to confirm that and then burn out for it, right? So yeah, it's a good reversal here, right? I think this might be the first one, at least that I've seen in this game. So this was a good time.
That was the first one in the set,
Yeah,
that was a thought that crossed my mind as well. Is okay, it's probably about time to start.
Good time reversal. Yeah, so this was interesting here, actually. So I thought you were going to back up again. Right here, after this. I thought you were going to back up again.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's why I went for this. Now, it worked out where I happened to catch your Kachi medium kick, and then I got the punish counter for it. Or, sorry, counter hit for it. But, like, in my head, I was gonna catch you walking back again, right? So once I did this, I was gonna just dash up, right? Because I don't really have enough meter to confirm, or sorry, to go into a drive rush here, right? So my thought process here was, let me try to get the knockdown and do a hard read basically on your movement. Try to get a knockdown here and close the space, right? And go for some sort of meaty option if I can get one, right? And spending a bar here probably doesn't make sense to me to do, so I probably just like dashed up and pressed something. But again, my thought process here was like, I think they're gonna back up again, and it worked out. So basically, I was not expecting you to press that scenario there. So yeah, and then you refuse to tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay, now listen. There's something in the air today. Like that situation, I feel like I die so often to attacking. So you know what? It's just.
No, this was godlike, dude. Like, like, how do I get away with that, right? Like, yeah, no, that's me. I'm reaching, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. In that scenario, like I would end up reaching most of the time. But yeah, I mean, like this right here cemented for me that you're refusing to tech the rest of this game at least. So I was like, okay, now Oki, or if I get close, I'm gonna walk up throw. Yeah, because like, thanks Chapman for the sub. Because like, if you think about what was happening, right? The last 3 or 4 interactions, I caught you moving, or at least in the last one it's accidental, if you will. But like the other 2 times in the previous game, I caught you moving backwards, right? So like now that you're willing to plant there, it makes the shimmy more real, right? Meaning you're not going to just back up out of the throw range anymore because you might get hit by the low. So that's why I switched to this, right? It's just that you didn't tech, right? So now I'm like, okay, now I can actually do that throw, because a lot of people will actually just like react with a button there because of the spacing, right? They'll try to press. So if they're pressing, then I'm like, okay, maybe I can try to whiff punish. But if you're teching, then I can shimmy you, right? So I'm kind of testing to see what you will do. And I can react to the throw at least, right? If you went for a button, maybe I don't react to that, but I can react to a throw whiff, right? So that's like, that's why I was doing what I was doing here, was trying to see what you would want to do now that I've established I'm poking you with low, right? With sweeps and with crouching medium kicks, right? Oh, this whiff was, I was like, oh, that felt so bad to whiff that right there. Like I should have, I could have died for this, but luckily I didn't. But yeah,
I wasn't ready. Ready.
And it's tough because like if you look at the spacing here, right? Like Ken might whiff. If you went for a button here, like a stand heavy kick, I think it would have stuffed it, right? Because it's like 14 frames or whatever. So it's like I was kind of preempting a little bit, but I was standing in a space where I thought it would reach. Now it whiffs, and you may not have been ready for it here in particular, but that's the initial game, right? So then you take a turn back with that. I was able to block, thank God.
Right. Another thing that it's one of those things that I was doing in this set that I think I was kind of preempting is this drive rush, medium punch, drive rush cancel into low light buttons. So, and the purpose behind it usually is, so her normal block string of medium punch, drive rush cancel, crouching medium punch is also a true block string, but it's, if it gets blocked, it gets blocked. It's not a low, so it's all mids. So you get a 50-50, or all you get is a 50-50, which I mean that kind of take that how you will. A 50-50 is great for a grappler, but there's also other mix-ups that you can do, and one of them is you leave a little bit of a gap, try to catch their jump, and then the counterplay to that would be DPOS. And then the counterplay to the DPOS is to catch them not blocking low with the low light buttons.
Yeah.
Now this, as of late, has I think gotten to be almost like my default option, which is probably not ideal, given that I mean, I believe even off of like the drive rush, low light kick, I'm only +1 on block, so I really am not getting that favorable of a situation for all this drive that I'm investing, right? So
yeah, I think it's one of those situations where the options that I could represent as a defender here, you're trying to cover as many of them as possible. But the unfortunate thing is that if I just default to blocking here, like none of those things materialize, right? So like you can't frame trap me if I don't press. You can't bait my DP if I'm not DPOSing, right? So a lot of times I do tend to just block here, right? I'm not really well, first, I don't react in time to DPOS is part of it, right? Something I'm actually working on myself. But the other thing too is that like even if I was trying to DP here, since it's a true block string, like you were saying, there's no gap here. Like even if I'm mashing DP here, it doesn't really matter. In fact, you see, I actually delay tech.
Well,
Right,
no.
so
If you are mashing DP, this does break the block because you have to maintain the crouch block
oh,
throughout the
okay,
block string. Yep.
okay. So if I
From
mash
there,
here, yeah, let's
yeah,
see.
but
Okay,
it's where it's another situation where okay, the opponent has to represent
yeah,
that option before you really start abusing it and doing something
right.
else.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't let me. Am I just too late here?
I believe the first two
The
light
first
buttons
two,
are
yeah, the first two
block
are
string.
block
Yep.
string. Yeah, that has to be the third one, and I have to make sure that when I'm mashing it there, that I'm mashing it through the actual blocks animation there, and I like because if I let go of block, I'm gonna get hit, right? So it's kind of like you were saying there. So I'd have to wait for that. So interesting, but yeah, that said, like if I'm not doing any of those options, so you can't really bait it, right? So I think like going for, and the other thing too is that a +1 situation, even though it's not technically real, like from a strike throw perspective, if I'm not willing to mash against that, I think a command grab's kind of free there, right? Because
Well,
most
I
people
think
will block.
I started
Yeah,
doing that. Yeah, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that is still like kind of like a not totally real, but it's still like an option you see like Zangiefs and stuff use a lot, and it's like really powerful. Really gets in people's heads. So it's
yeah,
something that I've started doing. It's just I think as a default, probably weaker than like the standard drive rush cancel into crouch medium punch.
yeah.
It,
For the plus
it's
frames
sort
off
of
that, yeah,
yeah
yeah,
a little bit more plus frames. The mix is real.
mm-hmm.
It it's kind of there's a reason why it's kind of like the basic BNB that every Manon learns when they're picking up this character.
Right.
And it, to deviate from the tried and true kind of option, I think there really needs to be a reason. And in this case, in this set, I never really had a reason to be going for this. I don't think.
Yeah, I didn't really, the only defensive option I think I chose was either block or delay tech here, right? Because a +1 situation, I'm gonna lose to, if I'm deciding here that I'm gonna lose to a command grab, right? Which is not a great decision to make given we have 4 medals here. But I don't, I end up just defaulting to that, right? Maybe my game sense wasn't fully there, or maybe I just kind of autopiloted defense here. But like mashing against Manon here in a +1 situation maybe makes sense if I'm if I'm really reading command grab, right? Like that's really the only situation I would kind of jab you in, right? Because if I jab, I'll be able to stuff it, right? But yeah, I think that like going for the default plus frames, leave the gap there until you see me hit the DPOS or like a parry or something, right? Like give you a reason to go for this sort of light string. I mean,
Right.
I can kind of see both ways though, where it's like you want to go from the most conservative option to the most aggressive option, if you will. Like, oh, this is my opponent. I assume my opponent can do all these things, so maybe I take the conservative option and respect that. But in your average rank set or even like open bracket or whatever, like not everyone's going to be able to do that. So you might as well test it, right? And check. No, we're playing
Right.
first to 3 here, right? There's plenty of games here going to get through.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
giving up a game, giving up an interaction to get a better understanding of your opponent might not be a bad idea here, right? I spend 2 bars, I take 1900, you take 1900 damage or whatever, but now you know that you have to go for the true block string on drive rush on block because I can't defend it, right? So, or I am defending it rather, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're kind of leaving potential on the table, like the positive value, if you will, like expected value. You're leaving it on the table because you're respecting something that may or may not manifest, right? Like that's part of it, I think. Like if you're risk averse, I totally get that, and I think that's where I think a lot of these decisions are coming from, where it's like, oh, I don't want to get blown up, or I don't want to take too much risk, right? But you
Right.
have to take some risk in order to get damage, right? Like if the reward is much better, say command grab, fifth metal, like if those rewards are worth the risk or not for you. And I think sometimes they really are. Like if you're willing to trade health for one of those things, like that's the trade off, right? It's like, oh, I take 1900 damage, or I get a fifth metal and put Juzzy a guess from game situation, right? Because you have 2 bars here. If you do a command grab for a fifth metal here, I think I'm 1 interaction away from dying potentially.
Yeah.
So you can drive rush in, and now I have to guess for game, right? And that might be what you want to put, the situation you might want to put me in, right? Maybe I wake up, maybe I wake up with super or something like that. But that's really you're rolling the dice, right? Because The risk is you take a reversal. The reward is you win the game, right? Now, is that
Yep.
worth it or not? You know, that's something you have to decide for yourself, right? But I sometimes
Right.
I think people really dislike the quote unquote volatility of SF6, where it's like, oh, random things can happen at any given time. But like when it comes to that basic strike throw mix, that's existed forever, right? People
For
reversal
sure.
on Oki since like the third strike, right? People are doing heavy
Mhm.
DP on wake up, right? That's a thing. So it's like
Was regular heavy DP invincible?
I don't think it was, but it worked anyway because Ken is like privileged like that in the third strike. I want to say it worked more often than it should. I'll put it that way, like for whatever
Okay.
reason. But at any rate, the point though is that there's a wake up option, right? The wake up
Yeah. Yeah.
reversal,
Yeah.
right? And that's exists forever. But it's like you know winning the game over 2,000 damage or something like that. Yeah, you kind of have to weigh if that's worth it or not. Now, what I do think though is that if you are winning neutral consistently, right, like you are dominating a neutral game, then maybe it makes sense to scale back Oki, right? Like if
Sure.
you get into a first to two match and the guy can't keep up with you in neutral and they have to do neutral skips, they have to jump, they have to do all kinds of things to try to get around that. I think it's better to just try to take every neutral interaction, right? Because if you can win 10 neutral interactions, like you're gonna win the game, probably, right? Like that's a given. So like, why risk throwing? Why risk playing rock paper scissors on Oki when you can just outskill them in neutral, right? Like that's I think a
Right.
valid scenario where you don't want to take Oki. Like if you're Punk and you play at his level, and then you play someone like me, it's like why would you ever bother taking Oki? Just let him get back up, whiff a button in your face, and whiff punish me, right? Like that's
Right.
what I would think, right? But for us mere mortals, a lot of our damage comes from these RPS situations where you try to open someone
Mhm.
up, right? So
Yeah.
you do kind of have to play that game a little bit. And I know people hate
Yeah.
it, but you do. Yeah.
That what you just described, I think, is like the sort of like out of reach kind of ideal game plan. I'm like really trying to go for like pretty much all the time. And so, when my matches are going well, it's because of exactly that. Like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
winning neutral a lot.
Hmm.
Maybe I am taking some Oki here and there, but like, really, I'm getting everything started from using what's all these tools that Manon has in neutral. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I think just that decision making around, when should I take risks? When does it make sense to take risks?
Yeah. Yeah.
That definitely needs
A little
looking
bit
at
of
or
tweak,
working on
right?
for sure.
I think
Yeah,
and I
definitely.
think the way you play, at least in the last two games, was like once you're feeling it, once you're feeling yourself, that's when you start taking risks, and that's when it just snowballed and
Mm,
killed me, right? Like you took 3 rounds, like 3 perfect rounds off me in the last two games, right? Like that's how that went. And I think like it was because once you felt like your neutral game was working the way you wanted it to, you're kind of vibing off of that, you feeling that, and now you're like, all right, now I'm gonna do the crazy thing to see if it works, right? But like sometimes you just have to be willing to do that even if neutral isn't quite working for you, right? Like you don't
for sure.
you establish that you're able to whiff punish me and do that thing, right? And you did land some knockdowns on me. It's just that you didn't. I think you weren't dominating neutral the way you were expecting to, and because of that, you were
Sure.
playing more passive in like the defensive and like even in Oki scenarios, right? Because even through here, like after this happens, you kind of back up to like, okay, I'm gonna spin on a fireball, and I just refuse to throw one, right? I
Yeah.
just walk up
Right.
and hit you, right? And then here was a whiff that I ended up punishing with a jab, right? Like walk up jab.
Yeah.
And then this is the kill combo, right? And out right here, I was like, I really hope this kills because I wasn't quite sure because it was a jab starter, right?
Right.
But
Right.
you can see that, right? Is that like I think it's what like you're more risk averse when neutral is not working because you're like, okay, I can't, I have to tighten up, I can't play rock paper scissors. I don't want to do that because I'm not establishing my neutral game. And that's kind of what happened. I think in the two games where I was able to take, it was because I had won, or you perceived I had won more neutral interactions, right? And because of that, you tightened up. Like you weren't really going for command grabs, you weren't really going for other stuff. But then in the,
Which is
yeah,
almost back. Yeah, it's kind of backwards, isn't it? It's like
yeah, yeah,
okay, I can't establish an advantage throughout the game, so I'm going to continue not taking risks. But then that just means I have to hold more pressure, and if I'm not winning the interactions to begin with, then and I'm just taking all this pressure. I mean, yeah, of course I'm going to lose. It's just nothing's going to go my way. I'm not like
yeah.
forcing a momentum shift anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, and it's something I talk about a lot is that like, if you think of the game having kind of discrete game states, right, where there's like a neutral game state and then there's like an attack defend games there. Like you're attacking, which is like Oki, or you're defending, which is like defending like Wake Up, right? Like if you're winning in a specific phase of the game, like stay in that phase of the game. Like there's no reason
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
as much as you can, right? And of course, reset to neutral happens and all that stuff. But like if you're winning neutral, keep winning neutral, right? If you're losing neutral and you're losing against like the more consistent player, then the only way for you to win is to either all of a sudden get get the Zenkai boost during the game and be able to all of a sudden out neutral them, which is unlikely, or
Right.
introduce volatility, right? Go for the jumps, go for the neutral skips, like try to get them to have to check you and all that, because you're gonna
Yeah.
lose anyway, right? If you're playing a game with someone, like you're playing footsies, like the game footsies with someone,
Hmm.
and they're constantly beating you by like whiff punishing you, if you continue doing what you're doing, you're gonna lose, right? So why not
Yep.
try something else, right? So, but yeah, that I think that's kind of the like the gameplay mentality, right? Where it's like you don't want to tighten up in that scenario because you're already losing, so like it's gonna force you to do less, right? So, all right, cool. So let's take a look at this replay here. This is the one you sent me against a Jamie, huh?
Yeah, I think this was the match that sent me off on like a pretty bad tilt Q
Hmm.
streak today. So I
Let's see
just
it.
want to see kind of what happened here, because I don't remember.
That was sick,
I don't know why I did that.
but it worked.
Yeah.
Like you just opened with it.
Yeah. So I said I was risk averse. I think I'm tilted here.
Yeah, and
Not
you go
gonna
for
lie.
the you went for the driver's command grabber. So it is interesting though, because like, and this is something where it's a character thing. Like for whatever reason, Jamie's love to open with something. Like they won't just stand there. They'll open with palm, drive rush, whatever. So doing, or like drink, right? Like some James was backdash and drink in your face because they're expecting you to respect the palm or whatever. Like you'll neutral jump here, and then he'll just drink, right? Like that happens all the time. But I do think this was an interesting read. Like you said, risk reverse, but it worked out. So I mean, it's only wrong if it was blocked, and even then, I don't think it's necessarily wrong. It's just less correct. But then here you go for the command grab, right? So I don't know what game, in terms of like the set, this was. You said this is a rank set, right? So
This is game two.
game two,
So
okay.
I think I have, or I am trying to develop like some sort of profile opponent, but
Yeah.
yeah, because I think I had tried like a couple strike options in the game prior to this,
Mm-hmm.
and they were all getting blocked. So I think that this was where I was kind of
Going for
flipping
the
the switch and trying to which
yeah. So
maybe not the worst in terms of like trying to read the flow of the game, but yeah, it just didn't work out in this case,
Yeah.
which is kind of maybe
It is what it
maybe
is.
not.
I do like the idea though here, because if you think about it, from like a pure damage perspective, right? Like Manon level 1 command grab landing here, and look at the damage that Jamie's able to do from here. Like that is not a ton for a jump in, like if you think about it. Now of course Jamie doesn't have any drinks yet, so that's why, right? Like his damage is lower because of that.
Sure.
But I do think that going for that from a like risk reward standpoint made a ton of sense, right? Like if you consider the decision there. Right, so you're trying to establish the spacing again, right? Jamies are notorious for basically just doing whatever, right? And like maintaining spacing against Jamie is tough, right? Like they can just do basically anything to close that gap, and then all of a sudden he's in your face, right? So, okay, fine. And then unfortunately,
that looks like it was. I think I was doing that as kind of like a read that they would press a button to take the turn back, and
yeah,
it was probably a little committal. Because as an alternative to like, I mean, drive rush canceling, because you can't option select drive rush on lights anymore.
Yeah.
Probably just like any special that combos off of this is probably a little bit safer to
better
go
buffer.
for.
Yeah. So I think you get like the up kick, right? I think it's what it is.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I think like that kind of thing makes a lot of sense to me. I think like if you're trying to stuff out something they're doing, because this is basically a space trap, if you will, right? Like they're plus a ton, but there's not a lot that they can do here to actually reach you, right? I think Jamie probably actually pressed heavy punch or something, but at any rate, it's difficult for them to take their turn back and hit you from this space, right?
Yep.
Probably. So if you're just trying to, if you think they're gonna try to push a button here, doing this makes sense. But if you're recognizing that the Jamie is not pressing, right? Like again, the space traps and frame traps don't work if your opponent doesn't press, right? So, but instead he does a delay. He does a delay option here, right? He just doesn't press right away. So he just waits. And actually, it only comes out because he presses it maybe on reaction to your button here. Well, maybe not. That's like 12. Yeah, probably not on reaction. He's just trying to press. It just worked out for him here. Second drink. All right, goes for the infamous stand heavy kick, right? Like this thing hits everybody all the time. You don't press, which is great. Jumps, dive kick, okay. All right, what happened there?
I misjudged the height of it, yeah.
Yeah, so you were, he was +1 here.
Yep.
And it gets you the jab. That's what it is. What's funny is he was late, but you 4-framer, right? Or you were late, sorry. You're late there. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, you're late there. But it doesn't matter. He would have gotten you either way, right? So unfortunately there. But yeah, I think it's tough. A lot of times against dive kicks like that, I tend to just block. I'll stay conservative there. I know it's like, ideally you are judging the height and doing all that, but 9 times out of 10, he's, I just assume he's plus here and just hold it. Like, that was super obvious, right? Like, if he dive kicks me from like up here, right? Like it's my head, yeah. yeah.
If you're not punishing that, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. You're giving that away for free, right?
Yeah.
But like this,
that's ambiguous.
Ambiguous enough
especially
for me,
with
right?
OD as well. Like I think a regular dive kick here would be minus for the Jamie, but because he made it OD and spent a little bit of bar, I think that pushed it over the edge, and that's something, because he's gonna be safe no matter what, like at any height. As soon as he does this, that's just like knowledge type thing that I should know in the moment. So.
Yeah, and generally after an OD dive kick, I think most of the time it's gonna be safe, right? Now taking your turn back from there might make sense. But again, like from here, it's at least in my opinion, it's too ambiguous, right? Again, if it was like up here, yeah, for sure, right? I'm gonna press no matter what. But like here, it can be tough, right? Unless you want a reversal. So if you wanted to, not that Manon has one, but if you had a level 1 here or like a reversal of some kind, that might make sense to do. If you wanted to prevent them from continuing their turn, or if you get a read on their movement there or on their button pressing habits. But yeah, I think that this might be a little too ambiguous to press here, right? Unless you know the character very well and know the hitboxes and all that. But again, OD makes that a little bit tougher. And unfortunately get safe jumped. Yep. Ouch. Oh, okay. He went for the low. All right, cool. So he went for the parry here, right?
I will say that situation, I know with Manon specifically, so if they just empty jump, I do have the option of command grabbing, which is, that is a read that, like, I think I probably enforced it in the first game. So this, there is a little bit of mind games in this situation as well, a little bit of RPS. So it's something that I think will come up again as well.
Yeah, that's probably the looping Jamie knockdown there, right? Like he gets the safe jump from that, and that's just that's the Jamie character, right? We went for parry here, which was I know it's an okay option. It's a bit of a harder read though, right? For against like a button coming down, because if you jump throw, you're gonna take that, but you're basically picking scissors against their hopefully they throw paper or scissors, right? Not rock. So okay, worked out there. So you took your turn back here and clipped him. So what was he doing that allowed you to do that? So he's minus here, right? Chainable jab, and then just walks back. Oh, maybe walk up throw.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so he went for walk up throw here. It was funny. I actually had a conversation with Schogberg about this on the Discord. I'm pretty sure you saw that, where we're talking about a walk up throw from that scenario and how it's kind of not a great option right away. You're saying this is game 2, so maybe it is. But basically, if you try to go for a walk up throw in a situation where your jab spaces you out, which kind of did here, right? So like one jab spaces you out, or two lights, right? So light, right from here. Like this walk up throw loses to basically everything, right? Well, maybe not the corner, like you can't back up anymore, but like someone mashing, jumping, like there's a lot of options that this loses to, right? So you do have to the Jamie has to be making a read on what you're doing here in order for this walk up throw to make sense. Most people, what I think most people should be doing, and I'm agreeing with, and Shock talks about it all the time, is that like if you use a light string here, you'll be spaced out a specific distance based on whatever string you use, right? If you use lows, if you use kicks, slides, whatever, right? And based on that spacing, you can space trap somebody, or you can do something else based on what the opponent does after that, right? So if Jamie does 3 lights here, and then you as a player kind of autopilot taking your turn back, then the Jamie can do something else, right? They can do like a delay button or some other option that will beat your button, right? But like a walk up throw here is a specific read against being passive in the corner, right? Or passive in general, like just down backing. So again, that's a specific option being like if I mid screen and do this and I just back up out of your throw, I can whiff punish your throw. I can try jumping, backdashing. Like there's options that I have that will beat this, and mash too, right? Most people will be mashing all the time, and this will beat your walk up throw too, right? So oh, there's that light string, right? That you're talking about.
Yeah. Did I do that off of was that off of block or did I
Let's see.
hit?
I think it was a hit. Let's see.
Okay, because if it was a hit and I did that.
Oh
Then...
no, it
okay,
was a
it's
yeah,
block.
it's a block. Yeah, so that was fine. The Jamie ends up going for backing up for some reason. Gets clipped low.
Yeah, that's
Don't
not
know.
an option. That's not a real option.
I don't know why they did that. Like if you're gonna block low,
Yeah.
I don't know. So you take a small conversion here, right, off of that, but it's not a lot.
It's not, and that is one of the downsides of this is
Yeah.
you'll never get a ton, but you just get the knockdown and try to make the most of it.
Yeah, and you're defending against like a specific option, right? So you're deciding that I'm going to take this string because I don't want to get DPOS, right? Like you're preempting a specific option. But the funny thing about DPOS here though is that like if they do it correctly, they'll DP you on the third light anyway, right? They'll mash through the first two, and if it doesn't come out, most people will stop mashing the DPOS, right? They'll stop mashing the DP. So,
Well, I guess there is probably a scenario where the down input in the DP does kind of like line up with when the lights land.
Yeah.
But I think the idea behind it is usually that like okay, they'd have to kind of get lucky for that to be the case.
Yeah.
Like it would break the block relatively frequently, but it's also it's not guaranteed either necessarily.
Yeah. So I mean, again, like the overall thing though is that you are averse to a specific option that your opponent could do, right? But if you
what 891
not
damage,
like
that
yeah
was-
900 damage off of this, yeah, for 3 bars,
amazing.
right? So like
Right, yeah.
less than a throw. Like if you had gone for a drive rush command or a drive rush throw here, they would have done more damage, right? Like drive rush throw would do more damage, right? So again, I think that this string is definitely an adjustment that you can make, but if you're leaving damage on the table like that, like 3 bars for that is a pretty rough rate, right? Like this is not a good conversion damage wise.
For sure.
Now of course you get the knockdown, right? And they get conditioned to maybe down back or not do something else. But like you can do this, you can accomplish the same thing with a crouching medium punch if they're not showing the DPOS, and you get a command grab option out of that too, right? Like it's an actual mix up from there.
Yep.
So something to consider, right? Adjust to this if they are doing the DPOS, but like you could consider defaulting to something a little bit quote unquote riskier that you can very easily adjust back to this if you see them doing this, right? Like if your opponent does that, then yeah, obviously go back to whatever. We'll go back to what you know will work. But until they show that, there's not really a compelling reason to take a less risk, like a more conservative option here. Go for command grab. Is that what that was? You get DP'd. Okay, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Right, you go for that wake up reversal. I think that's fine from
Right,
both sides,
and I mean,
right?
you know, looking at the like health bar and also the drive situation as well. I mean, okay, he's low on drive. I'm not. I might be dead in like mid one interaction if I take like a heavy starter. But I mean, overall, I mean, this is relatively fine.
Yeah.
All things considered, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
another thing to kind of like keep in the back of my head. Like, okay, taking that damage or that DP is not the end of the world. The round is still, unless it kills me, like the round is still going on. So
yeah, you still have a chance here, right? And if the Jamie wants to extend, they have to like, well, I guess they get the plus here and then they just go for a jump. I think they were reverse here too. I don't know if you hit him with a wake up command grab, but they definitely jumped here, assuming that, right? So, yeah, yeah, but yeah, like you're saying, perfectly put, right? It's like I'm not dead from that, and I need to come back in this game, right? Like health wise, I'm behind here, so risk is I take a DP potentially. But the reward is so much better, and they have to make a specific read here, right? Like they can't delay tech against that on wake up,
yeah,
so they have to backdash or reversal or jump. So they are reading some meaty strike throw option here, right? So okay. Ooh,
I should be doing a light string there, but that's just
yeah, that's okay. I think you were like not quite sure what would happen,
right.
right? Like this is you're +3 here, right? And you press your button,
Yeah.
and he pressed.
And I do know that.
Yeah.
In the so I think yeah, probably a little bit. I mean, there's also if I'm locked in, there's the option of like since I'm +3, okay, command grab, which
Yeah.
in some matchups and against some moves, I recognize it and go for that. But yeah, I guess I think in this one, I hate the Jamie character a lot. The
Yeah.
both in both English and in Japanese, which I speak both languages,
Yeah.
the voice lines are taunting me and it makes me mad. So
Yeah.
I
He's
might
such a
not be in like I might
yeah.
not be in like a great mental state in this case,
Yeah,
but
he's kind of a dick, right? Like let's be real
yeah, a
about
little
that.
bit, yeah,
A
yeah,
little bit, right? So like he goes for dive kick here. This is
yeah.
a pretty well spaced dive kick. I think you're pretty sure to be minus here. You press anyway, right?
Yep, yep.
So, you know, minus 1. So same situation here, right? He was +1. Press anyway, get clipped. Right. So right before this though. Yeah, right here. This is actually kind of scary, right? So if you try to press, you're gonna get hit by the second stand heavy kick. Or if you press anything here, you get hit by the dive kick, right? So this was actually a good defensive decision here, I think, to not press in that scenario, even though you're probably aware of how minus Jamie is here.
Yeah.
But it's tough because this is like the Cammy special here, right? Knockdown, button, space trap button, take a turn back, get dive kicked, right? Like that's like the classic setup here, right? So it's tough like to be ready for this because like I don't know how well Manon can anti-air without the OD up kick here, right? Like if you do OD potentially that would make sure that you're gonna land this, but I'm not sure how to anti-air this otherwise, right? So you do have to kind of hold that, I guess, unless you have a better way to defend that. But then here you're stuck in a plus situation or a minus situation, you press and get killed for it.
Right.
But yeah, if you look at this though, like from a full round perspective, there's one guess that didn't quite go your way, so they get a conversion from it. Okay, trying to reestablish neutral, get beat in the neutral game here.
That interaction, I think, right there is one where I think there's objectively just a better option, and also that kind of like it puts me in the corner, and I'm kind of just holding pressure from there.
Yeah,
I guess I kind of get out of it, but like even still, I mean, low drive. So that really that decision to go the I think light kick and driver's cancel, just kind of on a read that I'll hit, even though there's definitely a safer like a knockdown option.
yeah,
That doesn't like throw the game if it goes awry.
yeah.
Okay.
Because when you think about the situation there, the 3 bars, you don't get it back like throughout the rest of the
Yep.
match. So that's
Yep.
what puts you in the situation you were in at the end, right? Whereas like burnout's close. So I think that probably was it. I think like again going for not necessarily a hard read like that for right away if the Jamie is not willing to press, right? Like some Jamies are, or some people are, like they're willing to take the turn back aggressively, and you can take advantage of that. But like I was saying, space traps, frame traps don't work if the opponent doesn't press. So
Yep.
like you can't really put them in that scenario. Like you can't put them in that scenario expecting them to do what you want, right? Like opponents never do
Right.
what you want, right? So yeah. Oh, this gets checked, and it's not even a. I don't think it's even a check. He's just pressing. He just sees you. I think he twitch reacts to you moving, and it just works out.
He's just pressing.
Yeah.
He started pressing 6 frames into this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just pressing. Yeah, he's just pressing. Because, like, this is going to whiff otherwise, right? So he's just pressing, expecting you to do something, I think. This is a bit of a hard read on his part.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, is this hit? Oh, okay, nice.
Oh, I'm not late. Whoa.
You're not late. Yeah. I thought you were going to get hit here. Yeah. Worked out. He tried, though. It wasn't for lack of trying on his part.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I need to be crucified for that. That's awful.
Yeah, that's a tough. This needs to be command grab for sure, or hit grab rather. So.
Yes. Yeah. That is something that you can make the determination on off base just the hit.
Yeah.
Of
Right.
the medium punch and drive rush. So that's just.
Yeah.
I'm slow to react to that, I think.
Yeah, this hit confirm here, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
100%
that should
confirmed.
always
Yeah, that should be hit grab for
Well,
sure.
and another aspect of that too is if I by default go standing medium punch, driver's cancel, crouching medium punch, like that's an even longer hit confirm
Yeah.
window. That, right?
Yeah.
So that like
Yeah.
that's why that is the default option. You don't just try to hit confirm off of the one single hit. So it's
Yeah.
yeah.
And you can see here too, right? You do the same thing again. Go for this bait option here. I do like this though. So you do this, is what it is, but then this works out, right? So they try to back up for whatever reason. So I don't understand what they're doing here. Maybe they're just worried about an overhead or something. But like on the drive rush, I don't know why they're not down backing. But anyway, you get the command grab here, and then you go for this thing, which I think induces the parry here. But then he OS's this, right? So
Right.
he just like parries for a frame, and then just starts inputting drive rush, right? Because like if you did the overhead and it perfect parried or it parries, then you just drive rush out of this, right? So
Yeah.
and then he beats you with the stand heavy punch, right? Because you're trying to stand heavy kick. So I think the spacing here might have been tough to press that button. As soon as you recognize the parry here, I think like you probably want to get ready to check, right? Instead of trying to poke.
Yeah, and that's something that like I've started incorporating on different situations where okay, if I do the overhead or if I do stand heavy kick on block, so overhead's -9 on block, stand heavy kick is -6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm minus, but if it's spaced out, I know I'm not going to get punished. So then what are the options that my opponent has? Well,
Yeah.
one of them is they try to get close the distance and drive rush, and that is one that I have been a little bit more familiar with, like kind of checking.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I think I'm really only looking for the DI, which, so in this case, the Jamie, like defensively, if they're reacting overhead, they have both DI and parry as an option. So this is definitely something I could look for a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. Because you can, as soon as you see this parry flash, right? Because like this flash here, it freezes the game, right? And there's like 20 frames or something stupid, right? Like,
yep.
Like if you didn't preempt with your poke here, and just once you saw the parry held back, like meaning like you don't press anything right away, because you're expecting him to do something here, right? Like that was your mentality already. It was like, oh, they're gonna do something that I can react to. As soon as you see this, it's like, okay, I can react to the drive rush coming in, right? Or they just parry and nothing happens, right? They parry and then they stand there and lose half a bar for no reason, right? But you could definitely check with like stand medium kick or something right from here, and I think that would be better, right? Obviously, you can't drive rush cancel, so you'd have to do some sort of meterless conversion, but at least you'd be able to check the drive rush, right? So yeah, I think like trying to commit to a poke from that distance here against someone that has shown that they want to close the distance maybe isn't the right move from here. Based on what you did, right, which was try to bait something. So if you're baiting something, wait for it, right? Like maybe that makes more sense. But if you were going to be aggressive here, then just be aggressive. Like you don't need to actually press this. Like just press the stand heavy kick from here, right? Like try to catch him that way. So take target combo DP. All right, 0. Oh.
That was off the jet.
Yeah, it's one of those like 0 situations where you have to press your 4 frame. Right, 0.
So that hit delayed. That's probably why. Because no, I'm pretty sure I would know that that's -3. Just like on a I guess up close hit, but this
it was.
I certainly would not have known without like looking at this replay that
was 0. Yeah, and I think there's a little bit of screen shake. Let's see, a little bit. It's hard to see, but I would have gotten hit by this too, to be honest, because it was I don't see a lot of Jamies using that space. Like a lot of times they'll just be in your face pressing buttons, right? So I would have got hit by that too. But I guess that's a specific setup that he uses, right? So. Alright. Cool. Okay. So he goes for this. DI. Right? Try to get you to burn out, which is close.
Yeah. He gets punished because I'm too bad.
Yeah, he loses on the grab here because you because you got hit. He's a counter. Yeah, that's next level thinking.
That was intentional.
That's funny though. Yeah, that's unfortunate on his part though. Like I should have probably got you there, but you got counter hit, so he has to. Yeah, I mean, part of that too is that when you counter hit a jab like that, you do have to recognize that it was counter hit jab if you're gonna go for a throw. So you do have to delay a little bit. But anyway, all right, you have control now. Makes sense to me. I like it. Although I don't know if you get that conversion without OD, right? You have to use OD to get through that. So.
I think to get it consistently, yes.
Yeah.
I know that just the regular heavy can also do that, but that anti-air comes out a little bit slower. It also, I think, moves you forward a little bit more, so it's like kind of awkward because you could potentially like accidentally go under and you don't have a hitbox right over your head.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's yeah that,
yeah.
but
It
I
does.
definitely remember doing the OD anti-air with the knowledge that okay, if I hit this, he will burn out, so this is fine.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is checkmate, right? Like he's at a situation where he can't block. He can't block this overhead anymore,
Where did he end up?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and here I should well no overhead. Maybe that chips out. I don't know. That should have been cortical back medium kick anyway though.
Mm.
At that health, but that's
It worked.
character. Yeah,
I
it
wonder
did
if he was
work.
trying to jump here. I'm not sure. Oh, he's just not. He's just blocking.
Yeah, he just got hit.
He just got hit. So, you know, it worked out. Like if he had blocked here, let's see. So if I just block this. Oh crap. What did I do? This. Play control, player one. Yeah.
Okay, it's still chipped, but
Still chips, yeah.
you get a little bit more chip off of the what is it, ballerina kick, so it still
Yeah.
would be optimal. But
I think that would be better. But yeah, I mean, at any rate, it was checkmate for him. I tried to jump, try to block. I don't have super
Yeah,
reversal or anything like that. So it's totally fine, right? But yeah, from a totally makes sense to spend there, take the round, like all that stuff, totally fine. Yeah. Well,
yeah, just
that sucks.
yeah,
But then you get caught kind of backing up here. And this is the first time I think he's caught you doing that though. So at least in this game. So goes for the interesting. Okay, drops it.
I should.
Or is that an American reset? I don't know.
Now. I should know this setup by now. I know that it's either this hits and he gets a drink, or he whiffs it but he is plus. I should know this both from like, well, is he plus or is
No,
he?
he's -2 here.
Oh fuck. Okay.
You're plus, but you're late on the press, and you press a 5 frame, and he presses a 4 frame. So yeah.
I throw tacked actually.
Oh, you delay tacked.
Why would I ever do that? Yeah, gross. That's not even. That's like hardly delayed.
Yeah,
Even if I were going for delay tech, that's wrong.
You're basically instant tech here, and in fact, if you had actually gotten that, I think you throw him out of this.
Because it's on the same frame as the 4 frame, so the strike will prioritize. There it has to, yeah, it has to be jab. If I know that he's minus.
Yeah, that works. So if you did an instant tech,
really?
yeah, because he's -2.
-2.
He's
sorry.
-2.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it would have worked, but you'd have to do instant tech, which most people don't do, right? Like instant tech is a specific read, and that situation was not something I think where you would go for that. But at any rate, you were kind of in no man's land for the delay tech, unfortunately. So it is what it is. At any rate, you get hit. Gets his light confirm, which I think he wasn't expecting either, but he gets it. All right,
that hurts because okay. What was he after this? He's -1, right? Yep, he's -1. I know that. I think earlier in this set I did wake up command grab, which I mean it loses the mash, but a lot of people, especially Jamies that know they're -1, are not gonna mash knowing that they're minus.
Yeah.
But the fact that I do nothing there, let him neutral jump. That's something I have been feeling a lot. Is just in the corner, opponent decides to neutral jump on some sort of a read on my wake up, and I just let them do it.
Yeah, especially
I just gotta work
especially because you're being passive, right? So you are willing to take the throw here. So this neutral jump should lose to an anti-air, right? That's kind of what's supposed to happen. So I mean, if you're aware of that, that's what it is. I think like it's one of those mental stack rearrangement things where it's like, all right, I've committed to taking the throw here, so I'm going to block and I'm going to anti-air, right? Like those are the two things that would happen, right? At that point, because if you're going to wake up with a button, you're gonna wake up with a button, right? And even then, if you decide to wake up with a button, I feel like you can also kind of, if you wake up with a light anyway, be ready to anti-air with that too. So if you wake up with a jab or something and it whiffs, then you can anti-air, right? Like you're just basically like right here, like you're looking at like up here, right? Oh, I am going to take the throw, or I'm looking here to see if he jumps, right? or I'm going to wake up
Yep.
button. Okay, I'm looking here to see if he jumps, right? Because if you hits, you can confirm that like peripherally, right? Like you can see the flash or whatever, or however you confirm. But if you do like a light string from there, then it's even easier to confirm, right? Like if you happen to wake up button and catch them. But yeah, definitely like a mental stack rearrangement thing where it's like I'm taking the throw here, so I'm going to beat XYZ option, whatever it is. So then here you just go for command grab, which is dope, right? This is good. D-grab from Jamie here. I don't mind that decision for him actually. He just didn't want to take the mix, so he's like, all right, screw it.
Yep.
I don't mind it. I think he has enough drive to be able to justify that. He keeps you in the corner as well, and this is where he wants you anyway, so it's probably not worse for him, right? Wake up button gets you out of the situation. Funnily enough, jab jab, whiff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. So in this situation here, going for slide instead of command grab here, is there a particular reason you do that?
Yes. So I'm trying to set up the next Oki situation. So,
Okay.
For Manon's offense, yeah, the slide Oki is the one where you can bait DP. So if you do hit grab, and you then after that you go raw drive rush into something.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you do raw drive rush into nothing, you'll get hit by an OD DP.
Right.
So same thing with command grab, I believe. I guess that's also character dependent, but
Mm-hmm.
But so slide gives me like the most options I could bait, and by doing nothing and block the DP, which I
Gotcha.
didn't. But that's I think in this situation with his drive low, I think that's what I was going for.
Okay, I was just curious because I'm obviously don't play Manon, right? So, but I think
Sure.
this makes a lot of sense because of the drive situation, like you said, right? Like he's at this, right? So it's very risky for him to DP you here, right? So I would do the same thing. I would assume he's not going to DP, or do some sort of drive dependent reversal.
Mm-hmm.
Level 1 maybe could be a thing,
Yeah.
but he goes for the DP instead, right? So I mean, in your situation here, like if I knew that, and I would go for an Oki scenario too, right? Like I think most people would try to block in that scenario. So instead, he goes for this, which is super risky because if you're gonna reversal, use this, right? Like why, why burn out?
Yeah.
Like why not level 1 me, right? So because if you
Right.
level 1s you here, I think you get burned out, right? Or it'll be close to it.
I'd be close, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
be quite there. But I think with his wake up, or excuse me, his Oki, I'm like forced to guess with my reversal now.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, and he
Yeah,
would
no,
be
it's
at
definitely-
he would be at somewhere between 2 bars, right? Two and a
Right,
quarter bar,
right.
right? So like this would be a decision point, like just to bring it up on stream here. Like this is a reason why you would use a level 1 is because of this, right? So anyway, because I know Taller Geese, I'm calling you out right now. I know Taller Geese gonna watch this later, so so he goes for the reversal here, which is what it is. He gets knocked down. You still have the health lead and the drive lead, so let's see what happens. Drink makes sense.
I'm just looking at this screen right now. The fact that I lose this is criminal. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, from this state
there it
here,
is.
it's tough. Get jumped in on.
Yeah,
All right, safe
it's
jump.
a misinput on the anti-air, I think. I'm looking at it. The down 4. I don't know what causes that. So okay, yeah, I get that, and then
Yeah, let me see
jumps
here.
in.
Yep, the jump in here.
So it's down and then straight into forward, which so it's missing the down forward
The
command.
corner. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. I mean, I guess that's just.
Are you on leverless or?
I am on leverless.
Okay.
So I think I'm probably just pressing
Yeah.
the forward and the up for the SOCD cancel at the same time rather than like one after another. Which
Oh, I
is,
see what you mean.
so
Yeah. So it needs to be like a roll, kind of like there needs to be a frame in between each one. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It happens. Execution stuff, you grind it out, not a big deal. So you miss the anti-air, unfortunately. Get looped here. Safe jump. And you manage to get out of it. Because he goes for...
Safe jump is -1, and then the low. Okay, yeah, he's doing the same option as before.
So he goes for that. And then he does the low. And your pre-jump is 3 frames, so it beats that, right? So... It's fine. Now, if he was good, I think he could cross-cut potentially or do something else, but he doesn't. It's okay. Actually, I don't know what Jamie's options there is, but whatever. You get out of it. Okay, so from here...
What the hell was I doing?
From right here, this is a dominating position, right? Like,
Yes.
you have... Health is similar, but one interaction away from death, basically.
Yep.
With this meter situation here, you probably do this much damage with any sort of punish here.
Yeah.
DI is a real option, right? He's burned out. He has to hard read, be ready with reversal, which he may be. I don't know. But this is really hard for Jamie to get out of this. So let's see what happens. Okay, he stays aggressive here. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so that's what it is. He gets his meter back. Okay, now you're in trouble, right? this is not good now. So he's at level 3 now. Gets level 4 for free because you're an Oki, and now this is really hard to win, right? Level 4 Jamie is like busted as a character, right? So he's just waiting to react to something and gonna palm you, right? So you get caught.
I pressed it. Yeah.
Yeah, you pressed on the plus right here, right? So
Yeah, I mean, in this, because I think something that I kind of am used to seeing like Jamie's do a lot is so okay after that they're +1 after the drive rush, heavy punch, and I think a lot of Jamie's knowing that almost most of them I'd say tend to like do the walk up throw.
Yeah.
But I mean, just looking at this situation here, if I get walk up thrown, I back roll and I'm basically out of the situation. So
Yeah.
the only way I die here is if I stop blocking, and so that might be a decision-making thing on my part.
Yeah, if you get frame
like,
check,
I have
yeah.
a hard read on them, which I don't think I did at this point. So
yeah, you get the classic frame trap, right? So like you're thinking ahead a little bit too much, and they just get you with basically a standard meaty, right? Like, it's not even really. I mean, it's a frame trap in the sense that, and like the the barest definition of they have plus frames, but it's not real because it's +1, right? So you're like, okay, I can jab out of this, but then that causes people to tend to force what you're seeing here, which is I'm going to enforce my +1 situation, and then catch you mashing, right? And then Jamie gets this absurd target combo from that, right? So yeah, I think like when it comes down to it, like I don't think there was a ton of like. What I want to say is that there are some situations that were unfortunate, like missed anti-airs and all that, but like some of the decision making was mostly fine actually. It's just that the Jamie was able to capitalize on some of the kind of miscues, right? And then at the end, the jab I think might have been a little bit tougher. And I actually don't mind when you got reversaled at the end there, or DP'd on your thing, because like again, that's a decision that doesn't quite make sense to do, but they did it and it worked, right? Now you can argue that they put themselves into a position where they could have easily lost the game, but then they were able to get away with it, right? By staying aggressive, taking advantage of some of your passiveness when he was burned out, gets his meter back, and then is able to get level 4, and then that's kind of it, right? So again, you were winning most of this, right? Like you're able to get out of the corner, get the space trap here, the reversal burns him out, but like you're okay, this is pretty good position,
right?
And then you're able to corner him at some point here. Oh, you get out of the safe jump, right? Yep. And then now it's like, okay, DI will win, right? Like some other things here. But then what ends up happening here is you get passive instead of trying to control the space with your pokes, right? You kind of get a little bit passive and try to play reactive, which is fine because the Jamie was being kind of aggressive here. But you don't check the
I don't check it.
But, you don't check this. Yeah,
that's why I'm playing passive, is like looking for that so I can get like guaranteed damage, like that right there. Right?
Yeah.
The fact that I miss it on the first jump is probably need to be looking for that a little bit more aggressively.
Yeah, that's and I think again it's sort of the mental stack rearrangement, right? Like if I'm going to play passive, then I need to be ready to check those options.
For sure.
The most common one, of course, being jump. Now the Jamie was burned out, so like you don't have to worry too much about drive rush, 10 heavy bunch, or like palm potentially. Maybe not palm, but they were too close for it anyway. But yeah, I think it's just mental stack rearrangement, right? Like, oh, I'm looking for XYZ options now, and I need to prioritize those versus trying to win neutral, right? Like when you're playing neutral, like footsie's aspect, you're trying to control space, you're trying to read what they're doing, you're trying to get them to whiff or try to stuff through. All that stuff's happening. But if you've relegated yourself to like, oh, I'm going to react to an option, then you don't need to play footsies anymore potentially, right? You just have to stand in a spacing that allows you to react for that. And then he does do the thing that you're looking for. It's just you have to check it. So, but yeah, I mean, otherwise, like you basically had this round until he gets his meter back. And then once this happens, it's like, oh shit, now how do I deal with a Jamie that can convert a jab into a target combo that lasts like a million years, right? Like, yeah. So Anyway, but yeah, I think like if we were to talk about what would be actionable longer term, I think it's just some of the in neutral, it's just the mental stack rearrangement, right? Picking the things you want to be ready for and making sure that those
Right.
are at the top of your kind of reaction. If you're going to play reactive, I think if you're playing the neutral footsies aspect, like footsies game, I think that's totally fine too. I don't think there's anything I couldn't improve. Like, there's nothing I could say that would improve that for you. I think you play that better than I do, especially with Manon that has the buttons that she has and the style that you have. It meshes really well, right? So obviously you can control neutral like that. So those two things would be there, but the other thing would be the Oki scenarios, right? So be willing to take Oki after like a
Yeah.
hit grab, right? Like wait for me to do the DI or the reversal or whatever before you start trying to bait it. Basically, like those would be the things that I would think about. So I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. What do you think, man? Does that sound reasonable? Does that sound am I out of left field here, or what do you think?
I think that pretty much sums it up. I also think side note, but I think it's very kind of regrettable that I went on like a 100 MR loss streak after that game because
Yeah.
I thought oh I was tilted after that game that was like, actually relatively close winnable and like didn't play it horribly.
Yeah.
Certainly didn't feel that way in the match because
Oh,
I'm in the match,
dude,
but
in the
like
match, you're
looking
just
at the
like,
replay, it's
this
like
Jamie is bullshit. I can guarantee you're like, this character is ridiculous. Like,
right.
yeah, but
But then, like,
yeah.
you take a step back, you look at the replay because this is something that I like just straight up don't do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is actually an interesting perspective to be looking at my own gameplay and via the replay is like, okay, looking at what happened, like, okay, there was a misinput, like there was that one anti-air where if I got that anti-air in the corner, I
Mm-hmm.
side swap. That's another situation where I would have been pretty damn close to winning, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, it's unlucky, but like I'm okay with unlucky if I drop a game to misinput. Okay, oh well.
Mm-hmm.
But like the decision, the thought was there. So like it's feels wasteful to let kind of the rest of my session kind of go to waste, or just kind of take a bad turn, and mentally be like kind of in a tilted state
Yeah.
over what was realistically not like a poorly played game.
No, and it was very close, right? Like, it really could have went either way at the end there. There
Yeah.
was just the only blunder, if you even really want to call it that, was that you made a hard read on a +1 situation, right? Which would have worked out for you had they done the walk up throw, right? So like you decided I'm going to beat an option that I think they're gonna do, and it didn't work out. But like the rest of the game was played fine, other than like you said, some of the miscues in terms of anti-airing and stuff like that, which I think we talked about at length. It's basically just rearranging some of the mental stack there. And some of that is tilt, to be honest with you, because there's times where I've played ranked, and it's like I start missing anti-airs or I start whiffing buttons, and it's like, man, this game sucks. I can't do anything right. And then all of a sudden, I'm not playing loose anymore. I'm playing super tight. I'm playing, very high risk and Oki situations, right? Like, I'm not playing a game that is consistent or at the standard that I would hope to be playing my game at, right? So then
Yeah.
that falls apart, and like you can't. It's hard to get back to clearing your mental state, if you will, and getting back into the game from there, because it's like, God, the freaking Jamie character, man, he's just ridiculous yeah. And it's like, if you look at it objectively, that was very close. And there were situations, there was a couple of points where I thought the game would basically be over, right? Like you had him burn out the corner, or you had like one interaction away. Like there's some spots where if you had pressed advantage a little bit, you might have been able to get away with it, right? And get away with the game, right? But and again, I have zero issue with people that want to play more reactive and passively, right? Like they want to play more like it kind of gets conflated with consistency, but I think that's not necessarily true. I think like you have a game plan of I want to react to stuff, and I think that's fine. But you can also have a very consistent game plan where you take up space and you poke, right? Like if you look at how you were playing the last two games, I would say that's way more consistent overall because you're controlling space effectively and doing all those things. And
Yeah.
basically, when it comes to consistency, it's like I'm doing a more I'm doing a less volatile game plan, a more stable game plan, where I outskill my opponent, right? In that aspect. And I think like it doesn't necessarily need to mean that you have to be reactive. Like if you look at me, how I play, it's very aggressive, right? I'm walking up and pressing buttons, I'm in your face and all that stuff. And it's hard to call that like inconsistent a lot of the time, right?
Right.
Like it
Right.
can't, or it can feel that way. But it can also look that way too, where it's like, oh, Juzzy just presses whenever, right? And that's mostly true, but like, it's still a consistent game plan overall, where that's what I'm trying
For
to do.
sure. Yeah.
So it's like you don't necessarily have to conflate consistency with reactive and passive gameplay. I think like you can do both. You can be aggressive and consistent and passive and consistent. It's two sides of that coin. The
Yeah,
question becomes
I
like, what
agree with
side
that.
do you want to play, right? Like if your opponent is being aggressive, maybe it makes sense to be reactive. But if you're both playing reactive and they are slightly better at whiff punishing than you are, then why would you continue doing that, right? Like
Yeah,
it's hard to win
why
from there.
play their game that you try
Yeah,
to switch it up a little bit maybe.
exactly, right? Like introduce the
For sure.
volatility if you can't beat them
Yep.
in a stable game plan, right? So anyway, cool man. I hope that was helpful. Did you want to run it back? You have time for another first three?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. Da, 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 da. All right. Are we not friends? How are we not friends? All right, here we go. There we go.
I'm not worthy of your.
I, I don't know why that hasn't happened yet, or as much as we play. As I was looking for you on my friends, I was like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
right.
The heck? I guess we just never get around to it because it's always just like, oh, let's go, and then play the game, all that. But yeah, try taking Yoki
For sure.
when you knock me down. Oh. Oh.
Why did I do that?
Uh-oh. Oh. I'm so happy that worked. Oh, damn it. It's too good. Oh. Nice.
Doesn't I need to sweep that?
Oh. Oh, nice. I don't know why I delay tech there. It didn't make sense. Should just committed to the backdash. So I'm gonna lose anyway. But yeah, you can see like you get two interactions that basically took half my health from that.
Yeah. Oh, that's -4.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's not correct. It's okay, Octagora burns himself out, so it must be correct, right?
Yeah. If a pro does it. Yeah, if a pro's doing it, it's got to be good.
Yeah. I'm not reacting to that DI.
That's tough. That's tough, man. Like,
It is, it is.
uh-oh. Oh, that was sick. Oh, no DP? That sucks. Ah! Man, lucky I delayed a little bit there. Otherwise, that would have hit me. Oh, nice.
Oh, wrong.
I think you needed the other one, right? The longer one?
Yeah, I think that's what it should have been. I keep walking back.
Ah.
Okay, but like I have drive.
Okay, well,
You know.
I was worried about. I was worried, dude. I thought you would react to that one.
Oh, that's not happening. Believe me, if it's red, I can't see it.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
there it is.
Uh-oh. Oh, there was that thing again, right? Whew.
Nice.
Got away one there. Yeah, that spacing makes that a little bit tough to react to. You just get to throw the stand heavy kick for free. It's so hard to deal with Ken in the corner when he can do that.
Ooh, I was out of range. You've seen that too many times.
Yeah. Oh.
Wasn't missing, but
Oh, nice.
why am I doing that?
Yeah, I have not reacted to that at all so far.
No, I know. It was heavy, so it didn't matter anyway. Why'd I parry?
Oh, caught the backdash. That was sick. Oh.
Oh, well, okay. You do it back. Cool.
Oh, I don't need to parry against the heavy. Uh-oh.
I got a little silly with it. Oh.
The fake. Oh. Oh. Oh, that hand. That was like the tip of the fireball. Come on. It's too good. Oh. And the Odie spin is so good, dude. I don't know why it's...
It really is. No, it's okay though. It's like the worst move in the game. I've heard. So I've heard.
Oh.
Again, what? Zero reason. Zero reason. I'm tilted.
Yeah, the autopilot is strong. Oh my god.
It really is.
Oh, it beats that. That's so dumb. That was just a super late inputted DP. It ended up cross-cutting, like, autocorrect. Oh my god. Stand heavy punch needs to be nerfed. Oh my god.
Nice back
Oh man. Oh, nice. Ah. Aw.
do you mean?
Oh, where's the level 3? You had me. What happened? Okay. But yeah, I think like that all said, as close as that set was, I do think that like there's not a lot of adjustment needs to be made in terms of like neutral game. I do think it's mostly in the Oki scenarios. Like if you're able to effectively mix me there, that's how you win.
For sure.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah, a lot of those things that we just talked about, in the set, I was seeing like each and every one just kind of like flash through as I make the wrong decision.
Yeah, but now that you're
Fine,
conscious
yeah.
conscious about it, like now you can start adjusting, right? Because like a lot of times it's
Sure.
hard to see what's happening there. You're just kind of getting tilted because it doesn't work, and then also it's hard to do it because since you're using your conscious brain to actually execute the thing as opposed to
Yep.
decision making and observation, that type of thing, it's hard because you're like, this is not what I do. So then it takes more brain cycles and you're late and all that stuff, right? So, but yeah, man, I hope this was helpful for you because like I was really worried that I would just get washed and that'd be it. But we found some things to talk about, which is
It's a
good.
good thing
Yeah.
you set the time so late. 'Cause,
Yeah, I was able to steal some games with DI, right? But you know,
that,
cool,
that,
man.
that, that
Yeah.
irrespective of time, but
Yeah.
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 So
Cool, man. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
that was very good.
Yeah.
Definitely. First of all, I mean, first time I've really looked at my own replay, which is using this as an opportunity for that was really good. But also,
Yeah.
I mean, just the general perspective as well. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I know it's like a fresh set of eyes. It helps a lot. And I think the replay review is something, I've been doing it forever, right? So like going through that I think helps a lot of people. Because if you don't do it, it's like you were saying, all you remember from that game that tilted you was that you lost. But when you looked at it objectively and went through the replay and did all that and spent time, it was like, oh, it wasn't that I lost like hard as I thought. It was like a couple of decisions here and there that didn't quite go my way, and then a couple of blunders here, and then it was actually very close. So anyway, cool, man. Yeah. If nothing else, man, we'll call it there.
Sounds good.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Take care. Yep. Thanks for watching, guys. Sit down and shut up. I'll save the spiel like I normally do because I need to go. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you. Thank you for the subs and the follows and the messages. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, the only plug I'll put in is FuyuKaki.com /Discord. Join that if you want a session like this and a great community to play in. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys and have a good night.